on the face-off. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. We've got Lost and Aggressor. All right, let's start off with the question of the day. It's all about the, you snicker. I see you over there. Okay. We're going to ask about the Iron Triangle. Armor, firepower, or mobility? Which, if you had to choose one to lean on, or let's start with Lost.
Mobility. Not even a question. I can move around the map without an issue. And then your armor's negated if I can get around your traverse speed, so mobility.
All right. And on the other side, we've got...
I think firepower is pretty important because you can just one-shot a tank with mobility, and it's really fun.
I think this says a lot. Yeah. This says a lot about both of your play styles, by the way. I think we probably could have placed bets on this, and we would have come out ahead. Now, Lost. I want to jump onto you first. I have that same folding table. Where do you get it?
No idea where I got it. I think I stole it from my mother or something like that.
Okay, that's the same place I got mine, too.
I'm just making sure your hats are safe. That's all that matters.
If it makes it feel better, I have one, too, so we all have one.
Where do those tables even come from?
They gotta come from IKEA or something. But anyways, let's get into questions. All right, Lost. So you just watched 07, kind of, as we said, crack a door open for you guys. Is that something you're eyeballing, or are you just handling this like another match, still speculating that you're not making playoffs? All right, so
Ladder. See what happens. You can't really worry about it to the last game anyway. So whatever comes through fruition comes through fruition.
Okay, fair enough.
And Aggressor, you guys actually benefit quite a bit off of a win here. Do you take a match like this as do you feel the pressure to win on a match like this?
I mean, you always feel the pressure to win. I mean, you always want to kind of put that to the side when you're playing, but you're always thinking about it like, oh, if we lose this, we're going to be in fourth place and not second place, which is a big deal.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, I don't want to take too much of your time. I want to get straight to this match. Any final words, Lost?
Best luck to you, man.
Aggressor?
Also, Rue, I love your man bun.
Thank you.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It looks good, man.
It's just extra fluffy stuff. I don't know where it comes from. Thank you, guys. I'll see you on the battlefield.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Peace out.
It's called hair, and it grows on your head, Randall.
I'm trying to find a barber. It's really difficult. There's an interview process. Resumes. It's a whole thing.
Well, you know what to talk to him about on Twitter now.
Tweet at me.
You know, Sophie always looks good with her fancy haircuts, so maybe she should get with you.
I don't have the... actually, wait, we live in L.A., so I do have access to people who can do... Okay, never mind. We're not getting into hair subjects. Let's get into map subjects, because we're going to go to Ghost Town first. Ghost Town starts off defense for Dare Rising. Your thoughts, Ghost Town, to start this one off?
I still think this is just going to start like the last series, 2-0 for Dare. I don't see anything on Ghost Town that makes me think that Valence can get into it. They only played it early on the season. They struggled, now provided that was really early in the season before they got into their groove.
Yeah.
But many could argue that Valence never really found their groove to begin with. So I still just don't see anything to really see they're going to get into this series.
We'll have to see how that one goes. So 2-0 to start, go to steps. Valence and Dare split at 1-1, do you think?
Traditionally, now once again, it goes back and forth over the seasons, but it's been a 1-1 map historically. So you still have to kind of think that's the case, especially if fans have been doing their homework. And the thing that they have a benefit of right now is they've barely played it, so Dare don't have that much footage to go back and look at and study, which is something that they spend a lot of time doing. So if you pull out some new strats today, maybe something works, right? Exactly.
If you lean back on the strategies you've always played, the same playbook day after day, I'd say the steps doesn't work out.
Yeah, and they've also had some horrible misplays, especially versus M60s. They had that one game which they threw where they up by almost like 3,500 HP and they still lost it. So that doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence in terms of steps.
That one was definitely not a fun one to watch. So we'll have to see how that goes, because it does kind of feel a lot like our previous match, but it does feel like the difference between Valence and Dare is more so than the difference between Aquatic M60s and 07, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree. Now, another thing to look at here, sorry to change subjects real quick.
Go for it.
But then we're going to have Muravanka last. Now, if they can make this series 3-3, regardless of how it gets there, if they can get 3-3, you have to like Valence's chances to at least tie it up.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to steps, which they've already have had one chance to beat Dare, and it's something that's been kind of Dare's Achilles heel is their second time around on maps. They lost that last tiebreaker to Eclipse, and once they'd already played Mines, and then they tried to run a defense they had already run before, very stale, very complacent, and Eclipse exploited it. And so you kind of have to wonder if Valence can get the series to the same point in the tiebreaker, and they can maybe exploit that again.
I see. I agree mostly with that, but I would tend to characterize it as Dare doesn't seem to do well in a longer series. I feel like they lose focus.
They kind of get maybe tilted a little bit.
Maybe, but I wouldn't necessarily jump to that conclusion. It's tilted is a very specific word to me, and it says that a team is now angry. They are emotional.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you're emotionally compromised.
Well, but let's say it is 4-4 at that point. You've just dropped 4 rounds to Valence. The 7th place team in the league is essentially the number 2 team.
And your first inclination, of course, is to think it's our fault. We dropped these battles. We lost, without respecting the fact that your opponent did earn their way to the Gold League. And they are actually some pretty solid players.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give them credit when they win.
And that's something that comes to mind when you think of Dare. It's just emotional. They really care about how they do, and when they lose, you can kind of hear in their comms with how they get upset. Now, once again, just to reiterate, though, that's talking about overtime. Valence have their work cut out for them. They have to get 4 wins on these other maps first.
Yeah, but let's see how we start this one out on battle number 1.
Ghost Town. The first absolutely symmetrical map, made especially for 7 versus 7 games. The teams start the battle on opposite sides. There are numerous ways to attack here. One of the bases is located in the central square, the other one at the top of the city. The hardest battles are usually fought for the top base, and this calls for the use of heavy tanks. Sometimes the teams choose fast tanks for spotting and base capturing.
Valence. You guys are not seeing this wrong. A 50B, a Mouse, a Bat Chat, a 183, a JPE, and 2 WZs. Dare, on the other hand, 3 50Bs, 2 E5s, a Bat Chat, and an RU 251.
All right, so now that we've gone over the Dare lineup, which makes perfect sense, let's go back and talk about the Valence lineup.
It does make sense if you think about it.
If you think about it in one universe.
So you look at how Valence played this recently, which is shove the 2 WZs onto cap.
You sure this isn't crazy?
Put the WZs on cap, have the tank destroyers stare at different lanes, and whoever pops up to get the resets gets blapped by a tank destroyer. Makes perfect sense to me.
But aren't you on attack?
Well, yeah, that's the point. You use the WZs for cap pressure, get them in there aggressive, and then when something has to come back to get the reset, you have a giant gun staring at them. So especially if it's soft tank like one of these 50Bs or Bat Chat pop up, that's going to be a lot of damage they're about to take.
Yeah, but look at this setup. What is this? This
is what happens when you have a disconnect.
That's a disconnect.
That's what that means, Randall.
I was so confused. I was like, why would you set up in the open with very little cover, not even looking at the right stuff? Oh. That's why. Yeah. That happens. First battle, it happens. It happens a lot more than I like to admit. So it's going to be Zone Delta, I think, DC'd, right?
I'm not sure. He's still here. There's still a bunch of them in battle. So.
No, it's got to be Zone Delta. No, wait, you're right. It could be anyone from the other side, but we'll see what they do. Because we have to get back to garage, everyone resets, and then we just jump back into it.
While we wait for that all to get reset, we have a couple more answers to our question of the day.
We have Indignant Beaver, my favorite name next to the Poop Cannon. Poop Cannon, please tweet at us. Mobility. He votes for mobility. And then we have you can take that name, Rox. That's yours. Trandaris.
I'll let you take that one.
Trandaris.
I struggle with some of the names of the players we already have.
It sounds like a planet.
Exits. Merle Scarata.
Oh yeah, you and names don't mix.
Names don't mix.
You're like Josh.
Me and English in general don't mix. People haven't figured that out yet.
Back in my day, Joshua Gray was the one who messed up player names constantly.
Someone has to do it.
It's your job.
Yep.
Stay strong. Don't let anyone tell you to stop doing what you do.
Oh, I love what I do.
Well, I know that. This is pretty cool, dude. We get to talk about tanks all day.
It looks like it's actually going to be static with the disconnect.
Static? Yeah. Why are you doing this to me, buddy? He'll be back. He'll eventually. We'll get him back in. And so once that's all done, we'll get this one readied up again. But that lineup with an FV, a Yogzilla, Mouse, I really got to say, Rox, I'm not a fan. I don't I don't ever feel super confident seeing those lineups because I'm always skeptical that things aren't really going to work out.
Well, what it comes down to, once again, is it comes down to they just need to force Dare to play into those tank destroyers. If they can force them into that 183 can get a big connection, or JP can play cleanup, then maybe we can make that work. And what you guys see right now is
that's the Static and
battle
G-Forcer who haven't left battle yet. It looks like, yeah, they're getting ready for it. Although, no, G-Forcer left battle and then readied up a tank. And now Static is trying to reconnect. And once he reconnects, that's the one thing about training rooms that's really annoying, is if one guy stays in the battle, it takes forever.
Well, in this case, it was Static that lagged out, so he was holding everything up. Now they've finally come out of battle. Now they're all going to ready up their tanks. We're going to be another 30 seconds away from starting.
Yeah, we're getting there, guys. Just hold on real tight and just tweet us more things at WGLNA, hashtag WGLNA.
We're also on Facebook. You can comment on our question of the day post we have up there.
Exactly. And also prepare yourselves for more questions. You can ask us anything, because when things like this happen, what we love to do more than anything is to actually pull up your tweets and answer your questions, because that's probably the most relevant thing. And what you can tell us about today is your preference for what you like out of the Iron Triangle. There's 3 points: armor, firepower, and mobility.
Hey, you got it right this time.
Hey, there we go. Sometimes I can do my job right, all right? Just need it. But armor, firepower, mobility. With those 3, that's generally how you measure a tank, right? How much firepower are you going to give it? How much more armor are you going to slap on it? And then how big of an engine, what kind of mobility are you going to go for? And it's always been the big question. Are you going to make something more along the lines of a scout tank? T-54 lightweight, 1390s.
T-50-2.
Maybe on the higher tiers, some bat chats. Those mix firepower, mobility, sacrifice on armor. You can get 2 of those. You probably can't get 3.
Unless you're an I-7.
I-7, well, yeah, I-7 actually is probably one of the best tanks in the game as far as having strong armor, decent mobility, and high firepower.
E5.
Although it is a little bit softer on the high firepower side.
490 is not anything to scoff at.
Well, the alpha is just fine. I'm just talking about maybe the in the way of like gun handling is kind of a soft stat around firepower, and also DPM. So you can, but between firepower, mobility, and armor on an IS-7, it's just enough in every category that it's effective. Yep. And that's what's important about that tank. One of the first tanks in the game.
Very similar to the WZ. Well, not WZ, but the 113, or in this case, the WZ-111 that I was looking down at. Very, very close to that. Very fast Chinese heavy tank. Good gun, good DPM, and has decent armor. We watched G-Forcer bounce a whole clip from a 50B at point blank, so armor on that thing definitely works.
Yeah. Yep. Can confirm armor does work. Bounces shells sometimes.
So now what we'll have to see is if the armor for these tanks at Dare can work right now, because they're going to be staring at this 183 and JPE E100. So if those, and what I was saying before we had that disconnect call is, what has to happen is Valence have to set up in a situation where Dare rotate into those tank destroyers. Let that 183 played by Spooky get some big connections there, or the JPE. And if they can get those pens and force them into that, they can kind of get up early on damage, and what they can do, what we talked about earlier, which is have that snowball effect. If they can get a pick or 2 down early, they can kind of carry the momentum. Even if Dare start to claw back into it, Valence should be able to wrap it up from that point, roll in, blast another couple tanks, and just carry it out from there.
The problem with that, though, the one thing that I have to note is the fact that this lineup telegraphs your strategy quite heavily. It should be fairly obvious that, well, if I play corner games and I want to peak, I'm not going to win today if I'm Dare. It's not going to go well. Durzel shouldn't be playing corner games against these tanks. The 183 gets one connection, and all of a sudden, well, stuff goes a little rough. And now Durzel is able to get, well, one into Spooky. But that's more due to strong positioning and decent play right there. And now you've got 2 heavy hitters on the same lane. And I like this. Look at the way those tanks, Chase Potato and My Little Putin, are starting to kind of wrap around to peel out the flank of Valence. If they play it right, and they don't get detected before too long, and they're able to maybe get some flank fire or spotting, that could mean a nice flank for Dare, and a good way to maybe take out Urtai, or pick off maybe a Bat Chat, or even one of these big TDs.
Well, if you look at the setup right now, if they kind of use these tank destroyers as the pivot, the anchor tanks in the middle, kind of pin them down, make it hard for them to rotate, and then use, say, the WZs and the Bat Chat and the 50B to flex around outside, they can kind of cut off these tanks from Dare into 2 separate groups. And if one group wants to rejoin the other for Dare, they have to cross these giant tank destroyers we're sitting here staring at.
Yes, and what's the answer here for Dare? It looks like a strong flank and a decent attack in that regard. Ooh, spotted is Chase Potato up in the northeast. He's gone for that boost to get up into Alpha 8.
He's going to be really hard to take down because you need to be boosted. You have to physically be boosted up there. You have to have another tank push you, which we saw the Batchat of Putin do. And then on top of that, there's not in any way as the attacking team to go get him down easily unless he overpeaks, and a shot from the mouse into the Z5 for almost 500.
Not bad. And I like this. Spooky understands what could be coming, and so he's going to be looking to south of the current position of Valence, that little group up they've gotten. What's the grid? Gulf 6? They're over in Gulf 6 right now, grouped up, and Spooky's going to be watching the backside periodically because that would be the expected position that you'd see a real...
Well, we're actually going to see this very kind of split that I was talking about. 50B and Batchat are down in south, and they're starting to work along here, and what they don't know is where the tanks are from Dare, and they're in the perfect position where this could work out very well for them because they could catch that first 50B out of Nationwide.
Now, do you think it's worth it to push Blitzwolf and Spooky forward in the TDs and bully your opponent out of their position? Maybe you take some damage, right?
No, I think you use, like they're doing right here, they're pulling the WZ away, and they're going to open up the south flank, and then once again, they'll use the heavy tank of the mouse and then these tank destroyers as the anchor, essentially. They'll hold the middle, and they'll punish tanks trying to rotate, and once the tension's drawn to the 50B and WZ, then these tank destroyers will come in where they have broadside shots, the guaranteed pens, and where they can do that high alpha amount of damage.
Here's the push. Fulcrus leads the way. This timing is to take your eyes off of what's really going to be happening. Those tanks you were just talking about in the south, it's going to be the 50Bs, the Batchats. They're going to be moving in on a flank right now. And there we go. Pressure onto Aggressor. I like this. Spooky gets a shot onto Durgel.
He's looking for a shot on the lower plate, and he bounces. I think that was
No,
an
it was
AP
into
shell.
dirt. Into the dirt, man. He just definitely did not connect
But this
whatsoever.
is working out good for Valence. They're punishing these tanks. They have 3 tanks down. And this set play, well, a bit corny, is working for Valence.
Yeah, Bird on the high ground is able to put a shell into Urtai. Looks like Harmless is going to be pinned where he is. Fulcrus is going to work to kind of push him out if he can. But they need to be careful. 50Bs are more dangerous than a lot of people give them credit for. Although, I think that's strange to say. But here we go. Connection for far less than we thought it would be. And Harmless is going to get all of his damage out before he goes down.
And now this is looking very good for Valence. A very decisive opening round. All 7 tanks still alive for Valence. Burton trying to get out of there, trying to run away from these tank destroyers. Luckily for him, Spooky's ammo racked, so he's not even loaded yet to get a shot off. G-Forcer closing with that WZ, and I do not like this out of Spooky because he is eyeballing the back of G-Forcer's tank right now. He's actually going to look for Burton. He's going to fire it off and put the shot into the dirt for the second time. So while Valence are playing very well this game, Spooky...
Bird, I got to give him credit, though. He's managing to stay alive.
Oh, he's running in that E5. He's using the mobility of that E5 to get out of there.
Look at these hit points. Like, just take a moment and actually look at the hit points. Static can only take 1. Spooky can only take 1. Fulcrus can take... Actually, he's got 1,000 hit points with the mouse. He can take 3 or 4. But Bird could go hero mode for a minute. And,
well, Bird so far has used the mobility to get away from there. He used his armor, blocked some damage, got out of there, stayed alive, and now he has to use his firepower to try to claw back into this match and knock down some tanks.
Oh, he can do some work. Certainly can. And he's going to just get on out of here. He doesn't know where Spooky is, though, and Spooky could push forward and possibly get the kill in a moment. I think that's probably my bet's on that. Bird stops here short, try and stall the cap, but I'm betting that...
Chase Potato takes some damage. He's going to line up for a shot. Bird's going to close in. Doesn't know where Spooky is. He doesn't know he's lurking around the corner. Now he's spotted. He's going to have the shot. Bird's just going to push in to try to get the reset, and he gets it. And Spooky hasn't fired yet. He's lining up the shot, making sure it counts, and takes him down.
There we go. Spooky gets the kill he's been waiting for.
Not a whole lot of damage, but gunned down, and that's going to close this down for Valence.
Chase Potato stops right in front of Blitz, so that's going to be it. Well, Valence...
Just pulling a giant block of cheese out of the refrigerator and handing it to Dare.
Just slapping it on the table. Try this.
And Dare ate it right up.
Yep. I do not feel like I know what to say. I'm actually feeling like I'm at a loss for words here.
Well, and you guys ready for this? You ready to see how much amazing damage Spooky did? That 183, that massive gun with the whole lot of firepower.
How much?
665.
Didn't you pick Spooky for your fantasy
did.
team?
He needs to perform a lot better than that to if I'm going to have any hope at catching the Ninja Gumby.
It looked like he was firing AP. So
You said it was a shot into the dirt. It looks like it just bounced off his lower plate.
I saw a puff of smoke, man. That looked like it hit dirt. Because there's a distinct look when a shell hits dirt.
But all the other guns near him were firing too, so I don't know which shell it was.
I was keeping track.
Yeah.
I was keeping track.
Looking at it, Fulcrus actually going to get 70 fantasy points in a mouse while he gets the cap. Burden Fungus, was alive for a very long time. Managed to get 64 fantasy points, including a slight reset when he killed one of the tanks on cap. So decent fantasy points there. Blitzwolf, almost 90 fantasy points. Not a picked player for Valence a whole lot.
And
but
Spooky, the guy who gets picked all the time.
26. Yay me.
Yay you, Rockstar. Yay you.
Yeah, and Blitzwolf, he just put up almost 8 points, only has a 4% pick rate on the season.
Yeah, he's not picked a lot. People tend to just favor the guys who put up the regular highs.
Well, and also who play consistently. He's only played 64% of their games on the season. So
there you go.
And now with Viral gone, he's definitely taken over that starting spot and he's been playing pretty much every game since. So a bit more of a viable option now.
Yeah, and it looks like countdown's going, Rockstar. We're going to be getting into battle number 2. For this one, now that we're swapping sides, I think I'm going to rest my judgment on whatever lineup we see.
Well, and this map is actually one of the maps where the attacking side tends to be favored a little bit. So now that they're going to switch sides, now it's going to be Dare having to attack. And unless Valence have something really creative here, I think Dare should be able to tie this up 1-1.
All right. Looking at the lineups, Rockstar, we've got a 113, 50B, T57, Batchat, Blitzwolf's bringing the FB215B 183 back, and Spooky in a T110E3, Urtai in an RU251.
Meanwhile, Dare, double 50B, 3 Batchats, and 2 WZs. So a lot of French autolitters coupled with the Tier 9 heavy tanks, the third time we've seen it tonight.
Yeah, they're becoming more popular. I can understand why. It performs well enough. It's got enough hit points. The gun handles well enough. It's much like the IS-7 of the lower tier.
Yeah, I prefer the T10 personally over the 2.
Why?
It just handles differently. It feels a bit more comfortable. Tower WZ is definitely a nice choice, and it has the heat shells for the gold round, which means the higher penetration, especially when you're dealing with like German heavies, is decent.
And when firing at range.
That too.
Range is an important one for heat shells because, well, snap! There's a push. You've got Harmless and Nationwide. They decided to drive forward, and they found Blitzwolf. And Blitzwolf didn't get a chance to put a shot on him, but
Batchats are going to back out before they let him put a shot into him.
Yeah, and actually, I want to hear what they're talking about because, there's got to be surprised. They go for a cap fast. We're going to take a listen in with them.
Start pushing in. Careful.
I'm rotating to the 9 line.
Harm, go take the rim. Go take the rim. Turn left. Turn left.
Okay, where do you want me? I was going to the ramp.
Yeah, go with me.
Okay.
We have
Well, that
cap.
is the
We
ramp.
have cap. They have no boost.
I'm
Let's
just
go.
gonna go
Cover
around
this
it.
room.
Are you just coming
Cover
in?
this room.
Yeah,
Or are you
going
just
that
taking the
way.
boost right now? And
That's
your just
fun.
got one shot.
Yeah.
They're pushing in.
To the 113. Oh, sorry.
Get the 113.
I got
Who
kill.
got
I got
one?
kill. I got kill. I got kill.
Nation's nice.
Flipping.
50B moving in. 50B moving in. You gotta reset. You fired 1.
Track him.
Can't.
I need help. Dirt's turn.
Yep, come to me.
Reloading time.
Keep coming.
I
Keep
still
coming.
have cap points.
Keep going back.
God.
Fired 3? Never mind. I don't want
That was 4.
One
Yep,
just
just
fired.
fired.
I have 8. Harm. Careful the bat. Careful the E3.
1 2
Careful the
fired.
E3.
Yeah.
Can you track him, Harm?
Nope. Dropping clip.
Fuck. I have to deal with this E3 now.
I'm going around with Putin. You gotta back off.
Hey, I'm gonna take a shot.
Not bad. Anybody
getting
flip in
pushed.
front of Durgel?
I'm getting pushed.
Yeah, I got 20 seconds, Durgel. Alright, 3
Yeah,
seconds.
I'm not gonna last 20 seconds.
E3 fired. Are just
23
not
fired.
Working against those.
Yeah. Like,
Randall,
The meme strats.
what is this?
Unstoppable.
Blitzwolf has just been farming just shot after shot, gets the shot onto the 50B after shooting Aggressor. And the most ironic thing there is Aggressor during the face-off said that he favored firepower, while Blitzwolf demonstrating exactly...
And the second ammo rack of the game! Sorry. I think this is about the tone I would like to take for the remainder of the match. Because that's...
Get the Duke Nukem sound back in here.
Just like every time, just crazy stuff starts happening, because Valence is up 2-0 over Dare. I want to make a point here and describe the fact that, well, Rockstar and myself both gambled on the fact that this was going to go to the other way, and Valence are now up 2-0. So, what's awesome is that now we've got what you would call an interesting matchup, Rockstar.
Yeah, I guess you could call it interesting.
I will. What's your favorite word?
Blitzwolf showing Spooky how to play that 183, 3,400 damage in a kill, 90 fantasy points.
Goodness.
Fulker's getting on cap, putting up 120 fantasy points of his own. He's already broken 200 fantasy points at 2 games.
Well, Valence did their homework, man. And they even showed up on the face-off, acting all cool.
I had heard some rumors about what Valence had been going with.
What
some
kind
of the strats. Basically running strats very similar to these in practice. This isn't just a, hey, let's try this because we have nothing better to lose. This is stuff they've actually been practicing.
I love it. Okay. At first, I thought it was a joke, where you're just bringing a strat to kind of just say, we know we're going to lose. But once they start doing okay, I start to get on board.
They've been practicing for it. They kind of understand. They have this idea of, let's use the high alpha tanks. Let's use them as the pivot. They did the same thing here. Let's use the high alpha tanks as the pivot. Hold one angle. Make sure that we shut down. Especially you got to look at the tanks that these teams favor. Batchat, most tank played in the league.
Yep.
Extremely soft, vulnerable to high tank stores.
50B is right behind it.
Then the Kronwagen.
There you go. Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Yep.
The point I want to make about that, though, is once you know that strategy is an option for your opponent, it's it's kind of easy to counter. Let's talk about, I'll bring up an example of a very small version of that scenario. Let's say you're mediums versus heavies, 2v2. Just that. If you're taking mediums up against heavies, the first battle, if you don't know what you're up against, you might ride out to go meet them, right? Mm-hmm. Send your mediums out to go just face-to-face with those heavies. Probably going to lose, though. Get out DPM'd, too many hit points, too much armor. Second battle, what do? You realize you get to use your mobility. Takes advantage of the weaknesses. I think these strategies don't work long-term, but they certainly are working today.
Yep, well, let's see if they can keep them working as they head into the next map of the series.
Steps, the most open map in the league. The attacking team appears near the rocks at the bottom of the map, and the defending team starts at the top. Bases are located near the railway and on the green. The best way to control them is to use the lowland near the second base. The attacking team usually begins the attack from the rocks and the railway, but sometimes they can attack through the green. Teams often drag vehicles from flank to flank, so both teams usually pick light vehicles with a good camouflage rating, but sometimes use tanks with a strong turret and even SPGs.
So, I can confirm that Arclit is confirmed as the Illuminati, because the second he comes back into the league, we're seeing a mouse on steps. Something we haven't seen since he last played in the league when High Voltage was still a team. Along with 3 bat chats, a TVP, and 2 Tier 9 bat chats.
Oh, good.
Dare coming in with an IS-7, 5 bat chats, the Lorraine 155-51.
You know what? I'm going to want to do a listen-in, because I really am going to want to listen to Dare this battle, because please tell me that they're thinking what I'm thinking about the mouse. Please tell me they are.
What are you thinking right now?
Why? On an open field like this, the mouse is a wall. You might as well literally drive a mobile home into the open and say, all right, guys, I hope they can't hit this. It's bigger than most mobile homes.
But you have to look at it this way. You're playing up against bat chats. Most bat chats don't even bring heat shells. They normally bring one clip at most. Occasionally we'll see someone bring 2, but for the most part they fire APCR. At range, this mouse is going to have no struggle just sitting here shrugging off those shells.
All right, let's see how Dare feels about this one as we go to listen in with them.
That tree that you knocked down, Putin, is not knocked down.
What?
The tree that's up here, the one you showed me, isn't knocked down on their side.
Okay, it's fine.
Wait for me
doing
to
this.
flex north. Then no. Wait for our batches. They're not playing rails, right?
No. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just seeing if they have anything on the ridge, lighting me. They've got
Let's
nothing
go.
visible on the ridge.
Maybe start clearing out rails, I guess, but they're not playing it, so just slowly.
How do you want to clear
And
that?
once you clear out rails, Burns can move up to here, keep spotting the mouse.
Yeah.
I think
Wait,
Karma
not
should get
yet.
on a fucking boost or something.
Do it.
Right.
We also need Nation to come.
By the way, no, not yet. Once we have mouse, I7 is not moved up, harmless stay for a couple of seconds.
Okay.
You want to spot the mouse or no?
I'll make a scout run, guys. So. No, nothing there. Not getting spotted. So
I didn't get
harmless,
lit by
go.
anything.
I7, can you move up?
Yeah. You ready for shots already?
I'm ready.
Harmless, what do you think? Do the boost? I think it would be better for Harmless to stay with us.
Then yeah, go move them. Dude, they
Alright.
move the Artie though. Look at the fucking Artie.
I'm trying. I'm waiting for.
Artie, move up for north.
You
with
don't
us.
have to.
I'm not getting any
you
lights.
have to
Yeah.
Down low.
Okay.
Go. Let's do the boost. Nation load hit. Do the boost. Harmless, go. Then one bad scout. Whatever. Let's do the boost first.
Got chat lit.
3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh.
One more, and then one more. 6 minutes. It's fine.
Got out already?
Aiming. Give me a sec.
Gonna go dark soon. You should be able to hit it blind though. Nice. 404 damage not found. Ha ha ha.
3, 2, 1, go.
Nice meme.
Thanks, man.
Ooh, nation.
That one looks
Looks like
nice.
you got it.
I'll make. Okay, Dirgil, make
You
a
loaded
scout run. Make
Okay.
a scout
Loaded-
run through
loaded
the
now.
cap.
Okay.
If you're not getting spotted, stay on cap, okay? Let's go. We have
Something
5
just
minutes.
relit me. I think there might be a bat or something to my right. Oh shit, optics.
Nope, not lit.
Stay on cap. I think what they're gonna try to do is they're gonna send mouse
Already
to
up?
here when it's
Or
critical.
mouse up. Blind fire.
He's almost in render. Like 5 more feet and he'll be in render.
He blind fired the first
Nice.
shot.
You got a bunch of
Fired.
damage.
Let's go. We don't have much time. That's okay.
5 minutes.
Can I get his upper plate, do you think, shooting down at him?
No. With heat,
Mouse?
maybe.
Yeah,
Yes.
with heat,
With
I'm
heat,
shooting
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
If it's dead on.
I will go second on cap. I will go second on cap aggressor.
Okay.
I'm thinking they're gonna send the bats through the.
Yeah, they're gonna try flanking soon.
Aggressor is pushing mid. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blind fire's coming in.
I'm trying to light it. There it is.
I don't want to fire.
House up.
Mouse is coming in.
He's almost in render.
He's in spotting range of me now.
Alright, he's perfectly angled to me right now. I'm holding my shells.
I shot underneath his tank.
Nice track.
I'm gonna
20 seconds
challenge
for
him.
I
cap.
tracked him again.
Nice, keep him tracked. He's the key. TVP, gotta punish that.
Yeah, kill TVP. Don't let him get in.
10
Anybody got a kill shot?
seconds.
Get off cap.
Maybe me.
Off cap.
No, you're good. You're good.
No,
you're
no,
good.
stay.
Not yet.
I thought
I'm
TVP was
reloading
gonna
for
make
30
it.
seconds. Give me 30 seconds.
Track the mouse. 3 seconds.
I got resetted.
Okay.
It's good. It's good.
Kill the mouse then.
Nice.
They're coming mid.
Badges
I'm
in the
out.
middle.
I have 20
Badges.
seconds.
All right, that's going to do it. I
These
think
tier
this-
9 bat chats need to back out. They need to get safe. Valence can still do this. They're in it within 1,000, but they're down 2 tanks. Now, there isn't already alive for Dare, so it's really only a 1-gun advantage.
Well, Chase has been doing serious damage. You heard the 404 damage not found earlier. That was 404 straight into a mouse. And he's been just laying it on every 25 seconds. And that one... Oh, no, that's 543. No.
That was not from him, though.
That was
7.
That was Bird. My bad. Well, I think that one actually just managed to hit the worst possible spot to actually deal any damage for that.
Yeah, now there's only 3.5 minutes left, and there's still going to be 4 tanks alive after Fulkers goes down. So this isn't out of the realm of questionability yet for Valence.
Yeah, I think this one, I think we're about to see the...
Spooky gets caught out in the open and taken down by Bird.
And there we go. Chase manages to get the kill shot, and G-Forcer, Urtai, and Lost are the only ones left alive. Dare's going to take this one, I think, Rox.
Well, G-Forcer does find Chase.
I think it should be over. 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Should be over.
Comes down to reloads.
I guess it does.
G-Forcer takes a lot of damage. He's going to get lit up and taken down here in just a second. He's spotted while he's running, 985. He's going to get around into cover, but Milo Putin's going to get the kill shot before he can get around that final bend. Now Urtai's going to trade with Harmless. Harmless is going to come out on top of this one. And that's just going to leave Lost. And now this is over.
Yeah, he doesn't have much going for him anymore. And, well, Valence tried for a strong play. The mouse certainly works out okay. And next patch, it certainly will work better in that position. But I still don't think it played quite like it was supposed to.
Well, what they needed to do, just some slight changes there. The mouse could have stayed a little bit more passive, used the bat chats to control south. All you need is one tank in the south to make sure you have it. If you have that south controlled for sure, you can just push a bat chat at full speed into that little cubby at C5 instead of the mouse.
Lost man kill.
Picked one up, but there's going to be 5 seconds left on cap.
Yeah.
Who are the tanks on cap? Because it's not Bird.
Are you caring for your fantasy points, sir?
Absolutely.
Without
no doubt. Milo Putin, Aggressor, and Nationwide farming the cap points.
Whoa. That's great for our fantasy points. All right. So with that one, we might have a chance of actually staying in the standings after tonight. We'll have to see how that goes, Rox.
Oh, it's one win, but you have to remember, Valence are still in the lead. They're still up 2-1, and that was defense that Valence just lost on, which typically is the team that is the side that teams tend to win on more.
It tends not to go that way, is what Rockstar's trying to say.
So, if I can find it under a stack of papers, on the season, Steps has a 52% attacking win rate, so it actually favors the offense just slightly, within, I have to guess, a margin of error. 52 is kind of a 50-50 in my books.
Yeah, I standard deviations. Like,
Don't
go too far. It's like, we also don't have, how many battles do we even have? We have less than 50 for every single map except Prohorovka. So, I always feel like trying to read too much into the stats is kind of misleading. You have to take them with a grain of salt.
Absolutely. And, the Zone Delta and the TVP, it's kind of an odd choice for the tank to push in there because the TVP is so large. I would rather see a bat shot try to go for that push, a little bit smaller profile.
I was also concerned that the mouse didn't spot the tanks on cap better.
Well, he only had coded optics, and the mouse does not have the greatest view range. So, that's part of the reason it didn't work out. Looking at the damages here, Burden doing 3,000 damage in a kill, 114 fantasy points. Not bad there. And then Milo Putin also putting up decent numbers. Nationwide, Aggressor. Following suit for Valence, and then Spooky is really letting me down tonight. I had some faith, and so far he has not put up much damage at all in any of the 3 battles they've played.
I'm a little confused about that. I would have expected Spooky to be performing better. He's always been one of those players that was the guy. And actually, I'll take a moment. KA Workbench, dangerously close between firepower and mobility is his answer to the question of the day. Why are you smiling? Why are you giggling? Is there something going on?
Nothing. Firepower, mobility, armor every day. So all 3 of them is kind of not really an answer, but an answer in its own way.
It's IS-7.
Fair enough.
Obviously, it's got to be.
Tank Girl 65, firepower, particularly accuracy. 215B every day.
German tanks.
215B.
Just, have you seen the E50?
Have you seen the 215B?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but I mean...
The definition of right-click, left-click.
Yeah, but, I mean, as long as time has been a thing, it's always been the German tanks. They've always hit at range, accuracy, penetration. They've got it all. They've got the firepower.
Speaking of firepower, Valence bringing an M4043 as well as a grill. 4 bat chats and an IS-7. Dare, an IS-7, 3 bat chats at 140 and STB. Oh, wait, STB, STRV, excuse me, 103B. And a Lorraine 155.
As they add more tanks to this game, it's going to become more and more crucial that you never, ever, ever mess up calling out a tank. Because now you can literally mix up one letter, and you'll name what? You could name any of 5 other tanks in the game.
What is...
Passive Scout IS-7. Passive Scout IS-7. I love it.
I thought we had a disconnect for a minute, and he was just driving out into the field. And then he turned slightly to the right, and I was like, nope.
This is what you do. This is next level stuff right there.
What do you know? Next we'll see Scout Mouse Tank?
Is he sticking out a little bit? I think he might be. I'd have to check. I have to check on the technical of that bush. No one uses that bush. But I guess that's why Bird's in it.
Well, the thing is, he just can't get spotted early. If they find him early...
Oh, he just... escape?
It's nothing. He can't get out of there.
Not a chance. You got to uphill. Backwards.
Party shot misses on Durgel.
Fulcrus is moving, so no already.
Bounce off the back of that 140.
This is what it's for, isn't it? To just bounce things and hold down. Yeah. Nice and slow opening from Valence. And they will, well, looks like a little shift around to the north. And, Rox, would you care to listen in with Valence for a bit of this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what they have to say as we head into battle number 4.
Bro, you just sit, hide from this in that case if you want anything there.
I have shots all the way up to A5.
Still want
I was
me
spotted
down,
just
mid?
now.
You got spotted?
There's something up here. I think that might be the Sturv. Can you blind shot the bush that's like A4 up in the top? You know the little stupid bush on top of this? Can you try blind shooting that?
I can blind shoot here. The big one or the small one?
The one on top of the actual little mountain there. Or the big one, doesn't matter. Just pick one or the other.
Okay.
I kind of feel like you had to be the one in A4.
Yeah, just start going.
That one right there. Did you hit it?
Mid on. Nope, splash. If there was something there, it's splash.
Here, watch my shells, Static.
Boogie, you got lit?
Yep.
Okay. Artie needs to be watching your shells. I can't tell from here.
Boogie, start pushing up. Get up to here.
Crap, I got lit here.
I'm just getting
He's closer.
Wait, where are you getting shot by shooting from?
What if he's in the same bush as
I
last
was
time?
getting shot at.
Hey, Artie's just gonna read
Is he this bush on cap?
I already fired.
No,
I don't
I would have
know.
gotten lit earlier. He's like here or here.
What, did they do the boost?
I didn't get lit. I think he's more up here.
I didn't get lit here.
Yeah, I'm going on your left.
Yeah.
Okay, slow down.
Artie didn't shoot me. So
But no, yeah, Urtai can light if he's here. I'm just gonna go.
I'm pretty sure he's like
come
right
with me.
here.
Come with me.
Coming.
Blitz,
Hey.
get ready. Blitz, start coming up here. Come up here. You gotta cover us.
Are we crossing tracks?
I got lit.
Let
A couple
me
seconds.
get the position.
I will.
Let me get the position of Artie. Okay. I'm
Are
bleeding.
you down
Already
from
fired?
it, or
Already fired. Okay. I'm like
I'm
20
looking
on
aggressive
position.
here.
Just give me 20. Just aim in now. You're
Alright, I
fine. Just
got
aim in.
lit. No, this.
He's somewhere stupid, dude.
I just got lit when I poked up here, so it's either here or
Yeah, I
here.
got lit again.
Cover me, Static. Cover me.
Spooky, I think you kind of want to work it out somewhere.
Yeah.
We have no self-control, though.
No, we don't. Spooky.
Are you spotted zone?
No, not yet. No.
He might be
You
in
need
the
to be
bush
really
here
careful,
then.
Spooky.
Right here, actually.
He'd be lighting right now. I got spotted now. Okay, Artie's in position. Starting.
He's probably here then. He didn't hit. He must have
He
run
could
then.
be up top. I'm not 100% sure yet.
I got
Yeah,
spotted
he is-
peeking over again.
Stay in middle.
It's
yeah.
either up here or here.
Lorraine is here.
You want the 7 to address?
Yeah, you can aggress now. They're all shooting at me.
Okay, shut it.
So do you want me to go up to like A23 to cover you?
That's up.
I'm
Might
running.
Might have been a back, but no, he doesn't spot that far.
Yeah, I think he just got out.
Static,
I'm
you
go
down
back
right in
down
front
here.
of me?
Go back down south.
Alright, do you
Yeah,
want me
you're
to
gonna
take
eventually
A2?
get on cap. My grill, get back over here now, please. Come on.
Okay.
Do you want me up here? Zone?
You want the 7
Okay, you gotta
to
be
back
really
out
careful.
kind
That
of
Artie's right here. It'll hit you every time.
Okay.
G, cover me.
Also not
I'm getting to this house, G, cover me.
Yeah.
You getting there, Static?
No.
It was the bat with binos then. That's what he was doing.
Artie, where are you looking?
I'm aimed towards. G, go ahead and get on cap. G, get on cap.
Yeah, they don't.
You can hear Valence struggling to kind of figure out exactly where all these tanks are from there.
There's a few things I did note that we should talk about though. Bird and Fungus. Valence is aware something's up. They are aware that Bird and Fungus is not where he should be. And by that I mean in the position you usually see My Little Putin currently hold. Usually you see an IS-7 being the tank out front, being that hull-down tank, spotting, getting spotted, taking damage here or there. But they're going to try something sneaky. They're going to hide their IS-7, use him for some spotting, but later in the battle, when you see the pressure onto Cap from Valence, Bird is going to have the amazing opportunity to approach and spot the Cap.
Well, he's just going to push into the same spot that Mouse of Fulcrus was trying to do last game. It's the same little cubby.
But he doesn't have to worry about crossing over.
And he's not a Mouse.
Exactly. He doesn't have to risk a lot. And so this could be considered an efficiency to the strategy that Dare's bringing. Could be considered just, and it's also nothing we haven't seen at least once or twice.
Definitely
before.
bold.
It's risky, yes. Definitely risky. If you get caught out, if you get spotted, if blind fire comes in, there's not a lot of options. As far as being able to abort from that plan, not really something you can reasonably do. Not without a lot of intel. And that's really the only concern I want to point out. Otherwise, if it works out for Dare, and so far it is, it might mean that Dare's able to defend if Valence gets a decent lead and secures a bit of a screen, which looks like they're about to go for. Spooky crosses in the open, takes 15:45 just to get in position, and also he goes down. So
Already, and now the highest 7 of Bird and Fungus is spotted, and he's in a really awkward spot in the middle of the field. Luckily, his teammates are in position to cover him still.
And Bird, well, he's going to force a bunch of tanks from Valence to pull back. Valence saying, whoa, this IS-7 was not expected. We need to change our plans up. And nice shot from Harmless. Takes down Urtai and enables Bird to get the resets on Cap. He's going to go for it. And there he sees Blitzwolf just as Fulcrus goes down. My Little Putin comes in and puts some fire out as well. And that's going to stall the Cap out. Valence is not going to be able to take this attack.
This is over. This is a 2-2.
Yeah, this is...
Just a second. A matter for them to come and clean up here at G-Forcer. Static and Zone Delta. 3 players formerly from Elevate. Got back together again on the Valence. But so far, have struggled so far this season. And started off strong so far today, but now it's going to be 2-2. Now you have to remember that Dare have an extra game that Top Tier and Eclipse have already played. So this game, if they get a straight-up win, will push them into second place, and it'll leave how they finish on the season in their own hands at that point. Now, they do have to go play still against Apex and Aquatic M60s, so by no means will this for sure lock them into second place, but it'll at least put it to their own control, into their hands. So as long as they get results, they'll keep second place.
All right, that's going to even up the score. It's now 2-2. Where this started, taking an unexpected turn, and Valence picking up 2 wins. Got to hand it to them. Interesting strats, as you like to say. And then Dare, able to take it on steps, just playing everything tighter, better, clearly showing a higher level of understanding. I think we could both agree on that one.
Burden actually had 1,300 assistance damage that came along with 2 spotted.
Not bad. Okay, so we'll move on then to Ruinberg, traditionally a 1-in-1 map, which should take this score and move it to 3-3. But before we get into that, let's talk about the post-battle stats. See Harmless putting up 3k damage with right behind him Durgel, Object 140, something that we really didn't touch much upon, the Object 140 pickup for this battle and its effectiveness, high fire rate, DPM, consistent fire, and the turret, of course, able to bounce a few shells here and there.
So I guess you could say it's a good combination of the 3 off the Iron Triangle.
Precisely. And then Fulcrus and the M4043, Urtai and Spooky all unable to really be effective. Spooky getting taken out while the push forward from Valence. Urtai in the IS-7 wasn't playing a damage-dealing position, but the Artie really didn't get a chance to do anything.
Here's a recap of top fantasy players so far from today. Now keep in mind we're still mid-match. They haven't quite had the same opportunity to get fantasy points as they did in the first match. Mr. Man leads the way. 479, Bales 377, not bad. And Bird and Fungus top on his team, already 278, and there's still at least 3 more games to go, so he's well on track to catch up with Mr. Man.
All right, so those are your projections for now. We'll see how those pan out later on as we're just getting into this match. We're going to see, I'd bet 3, maybe 4 more battles before we clean this one up. And it's going to have to go way into the side
Well,
of Dare to clean up.
We're going on to Ruinberg next, which, once again, I said tends to be a 1-in-1 map. If Valence can hold on defense, can be. And then we go on to Muravanka, a 1-in-1 map. We talked about this possibly going to overtime. We're well on our way to get there, but we have to see if they can get that far in our next map.
Ruinberg, a mixed-type map. The defending team starts the battle on the green, and the attacking team starts at the centre square of the town. Bases are located quite far from each other. Both bases are better controlled from the village when playing a heavy setup. It's better to attack the first base through the top direction with the help of several well-armoured heavy tanks. For the attack on the second base, it's better to use a more mobile setup and either play through the centre or split forces. In general, the map is not easy to play on. Teams often use blind shots and risky shifting of the forces from one flank to another.
And the lineup's coming in. Valence, a 113, a 50B, 2 Batchets, a TVP, a Grill, and an RU-251. Dare Rising, 250Bs, a 215B, an IS-7, 2 Batchets, and a WZ-132, your favorite light tank.
Yay. All right. So, opening moves, Urtai is going to go for a scout run down the middle. At the same time, looks like the medium tanks and... Yep, the medium tanks going to move up north. So this pressure is going towards the 1 cap for Valence. Dare's going to set up a defense. Looks like they're expecting something down south as Chase Potato's going to lead that scout run. Urtai is going to kind of telegraph a little bit of a south side play. And... I'm not sure if he's going to decide to go all the way in.
He's going to get tucked in here, and he's going to try to have the tanks in both the south and the middle road cover him.
Oh, look at that. Aggressor even spotted going to the south. And Chase takes another huge hit. Actually,
Chase might go down to that 50B in the south. He's down to a one-shot as Zone Delta takes some damage, making the cross into the north.
Nicely done. Although Static, look at Static taking a lot of damage on the north cross. So he's going to take down...
They're going to get in there safely.
He's down. He's done.
Turzel picks it up. But now Fulcrus is in on a 1v1 with Harmless, and Harmless has already had to fire a good portion of his shots onto Static, so they can certainly clean this up.
Also, look at this. Dare's already reacting. They're already pulling their tanks back and getting into position to defend the cap. Now, Fulcrus can decide to get aggressive here. He also needs to decide whether or not it's worth it to engage now, or maybe to engage against My Little Putin, who is just moving in right now to aggress. And if he doesn't do something soon, he's going to be taken down, and he won't be effective at all in this position. So he's going to start the engagement just as Harmless is getting reloaded. So Fulcrus has now used everything he's got, and he's spent. With that, Zone Delta Blitz, well, they'll try, but I don't think this is going anywhere.
Urtai is going to go down to the Batchat of Aggressor. Milo Putin is going to take another shot from the Grill. Start trading it out. Spooky acting like a ghost, just disappearing so far this series, taking a lot of damage right now.
And he'll disappear again as he's just waiting for that one last shell to finish him off. Dirtle's going to put it out there.
Burden coming in here to come clean up the TVP and Grill. And this was an unsuccessful but creative attack from Valence. I like the ideas and the thought process, but Dare's response was very clean.
Absolutely. And, well, that's going to do it. I don't know what exactly Valence is thinking long game for that one. The early game, I see what they're going for. Distract your opponent, misinformation, try and pull them in different directions, but we shall see.
The problem is, end of the day, you're still pushing with a TVP. So they've tried to do that the second time tonight. The problem is, well, the TVP is fast. It's also the size of a small barn, so it's pretty hard to miss.
Yeah, pretty easy target. Yep. Doesn't have really any armor, not even spaced armor much to speak of. So Valence goes for something. Dare's reaction is on point. I think I have to give credit though. The Urtai combo down south, that was something I like to see. Now the Batchats going down the way they did, I think that just was it. I think that's usually what spells a failure in the attack. Well, if you cross successfully in the north, you win, usually.
We needed to see Fulcrus relocate.
Yeah. But he didn't have a chance. By the time he got in there, he realized it was over. He didn't have any friends because they were all dead.
Exactly. He committed too far. They didn't know where that 50B was. If he had stayed back on the back corner, maybe somewhere where the Grill could have covered him, they could have kind of had enough guns there to kind of deal with Malputin.
But if you go that far back, what you do is you're exposed to fire from the south. Like that's just a fact. That's what happens. And well, at that point, if you don't cross and you don't have enough tanks with you, you're done. It's over. You won't have enough firepower to hold the position. You can't actually find a place where anyone can support you reasonably. That's your moment where you judge whether you succeed or fail. Right? That's just it. Right then. And Static went down.
Yep. Now, to be fair, I don't really blame Valence from the approach they took as far as the early game.
It's not so much Valence, it's Dare. It's entirely up to Dare how that strat works out. Because what you do is you attempt to distract them or create a scenario where your bat chats will cross in the north and succeed, right? If that happens, you win. If it doesn't happen, you lose. That's it. It's that simple. You don't have the firepower in the north if you lose 2 tanks. Bat chats are that important. You can't just throw bat chats away like that and expect to still win.
We see a lot of teams do that, though. They spam the bat chats, they get them out there, and they think having a lot of bat chats together is just equals GG.
Yeah, but what scenario would you expect for 2 bat chats to go down in an opening move and then somehow you still win? Your opponent, what did you take down in return? You didn't take down anything.
Yep, absolutely. We're going to head into battle number 6. Valence, a 113, 250Bs, a Kronwagen, a 430, an E3, and a T54 lightweight. Meanwhile, Dare, a 50B, an IS-7, a Batchat, 2 TVPs, a Grill, and an AMX 5100. We'll have to see what Dare do with that 5100. We've seen them run multiple strats, mostly revolving around using that 5100 as a moving bunker.
Well, we'll have to see. So we're about to load in. And, Rocks. I think this one depends on how Dare's attack goes.
Valence need to hold on here, because if they can make this 3-3, they have a good shot at least pushing this to overtime, which is going to be 2 huge points that they really need, especially because their remaining games are Eclipse and Aquatic M60s. So just like 07, this is a game where they could really use some points and maybe have a shot at Klein into that 6th place playoff spot.
Possibly so. And standard split from Valence on defense. They're setting up on the east side, T110, E3, and a Kronwagen in the town. And, well, positions from Dare are pensive, a little slow. What are you thinking, Rocks?
5100 closing in the north. They're just going to go with the standard north screen. Valence really needs to make sure they're smart here and they hold on. Chase Potato doing the same thing he's done before, where he only brings 1 clip and is now going to fire away that whole clip, so he does not get ammo wrecked.
There we go. You can join the conversation at WGLNA, hashtag WGLNA. Be sure to tweet at us. We'd love to read your tweets here on the broadcast.
They're going to slowly try to push Chase Potato on the cap.
And we're going to watch the 5100 Chase Potato get flipped on his side and start to get pushed towards the cap, which will start the attack from Dare. And, Rocks. I guess it's only a matter of time before we find out how this one goes.
Well, what I'm really curious about is I want to hear how Valence go about responding to this once they see this 5100 and realize what's going on. So let's go ahead and take a listen into their comms.
He shot once.
Except this time I'll push up too.
He's blind fire. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought that was a 50B.
I got. You have kill? You have kill?
Yeah, I can kill him. 5 seconds.
Okay, go ahead and kill. I'll save my shells.
Was free fantasy points?
Go ahead and rotate. Everyone start rotating.
All right, go on. I'm gonna go here zone.
Yeah. Actually, just wait. Just
Static's leaving.
Volkers, you don't need to do that though.
He wants us to wait now. All right. Yeah, the 430 and 54 can come.
I'm gonna.
Are you sure? Because they might have time to rotate out again.
Yeah, it looks like they're just doing. Drill just fired. Drill just fired.
50B is gonna be on clip.
I'm gonna move up because it looks like they're doing standard crap anyways. Okay.
Careful though, Volkers.
I'm gonna watch the back since he's moving up.
The only thing I'm exposed to is down in the south, but we have the lightweight watching that.
Kind of.
Yeah, ish.
Oh, nice. I tracked the S7.
Urtai, just come here. Hold vision here.
Get the
Since they have a TVP here, do you think it's safe for me just to YOLO A3 right now, or no?
Not yet. No, not until they get on cap, and then Spooky says he takes a clip.
50B's sitting down here, by the way.
The top side or south side?
Top side. Unless he moved, but I doubt it.
No, he's not top side.
We don't have anything here, though. You want me to rotate and us push this, or?
Stone clipping.
I think you rotate to here to watch middle or time.
Mm-hmm. Static, go ahead and come to the top. Static, go ahead and come to the top.
Coming. Cover me, Blitz.
Yeah, I got you.
And poor Chase gets killed by his own teammates all the time. Can you HE him or no?
7?
Yeah.
I
don't think he can. He'll have to HE on the wall. Drills HE. Static, you may be able to go. TVP's firing. Wait, Static, wait for me. You ready? 3, 2, Static, go. Static, go. 50B, come up. 50B, come up. These guys are ready.
I'm going to try to
Look for punish here. Look for punish here. Static, go.
Static's going.
Coming north.
50B shot 1.
Actually, no, I'm
2,
gonna hold vision.
3.
Drill shot. Shooting at you.
4.
Crap.
I fired one.
I don't know if I'm
going
gonna make it.
Aggressive, then, if you can. You need to
Can
get
we
the
push
7.
the,
These guys
push
need
the
to be
I7?
aggressive.
If you
Fuck.
can. No, that's why we need the 54 to go.
And while Static did go down, Valence are actually up on HP right now, and they're even on guns. So Valence still into this fight.
We give it a moment. We'll see how this goes. Valence can hold on. Dare has a lot of options.
And Valence have Spooky in the E3 who can keep getting those HE resets off the building, playing those angles he's playing. You heard him earlier say he got the track onto Malaputin, which is enough to get the reset. So as long as Spooky can get another reset or two throughout the next couple minutes, they can certainly run the clock down.
They certainly can.
I like the play they went for with Static. However, definitely missed time. 50B was in position to cover, and Malaputin putting shots off. Just too much damage for him to overcome.
There was a missed shell over the top of My Little Putin from Spooky. He'll get another shot at it again.
He needs plenty of time. There's only one tank on cap. There's only room for one person on cap.
And what I always wonder in these situations is, what's the other move? What's the next move? Well, can your opponent attack? No. So what do? And this is it. You're going to see Blitzwolf start to move up in the 50B. He'll join Fulcrus, and they can move around to try and flank. If that works out, then, well, so it does. If not, you will see a push out of Dare into the tank Spooky, Zone Delta, and G-Forcer. Now, the risk here is how many forces to push in what direction. If you give too much ground and you focus too much on the 50Bs, Blitzwolf and Fulcrus pushing up right now, well, then you just get attacked from the front by the remaining tanks of
G-Force is going to go for the ballsy play and push across cap. He's going to start taking damage from that TVP. 1,200, 1,600, he's tracked, and he goes down. That's the second tank fed to the guns of Dare as they just clean up these tanks. 50Bs are coming in now while the TVP and others are reloading, so they could trade this out pretty nicely right now. They're going to find Burton Fungus, who's down to a one-shot, trying to go into the cubby. Grill also getting focused out by Urtai, and all of a sudden, Valence are in a savable position.
They are. But how long is this going to last? You've got autoloaders. They're going to be on reload. You're not going to be able to deal this kind of damage from.
Oh, but Urtai is in a great position behind the tower here. He's going to put another shot into Harmless, and Urtai should be able to pick up the kill, and he should be able to take Durgil out of the fight as well. So
maybe so, but a low roll for 290. Not going to get the kill.
Fulcrus is going to have time to get his reload. He's going to back around the corner, and he should be able to clean this up, and Urtai is just pumping out damage right now.
You're right. This should be a Valence one. After a counter push, though, by Dare, they're able to take down that IS-7, and now against Spooky, I don't know, if Aggressor gets reloaded, he should be able to 1v1 over time. And My Little Putin, well, My Little Putin's still got cap.
Well, Fulcrus needs to leave this position and get somewhere where he can help Spooky, because Spooky's stuck in a 2v1 right now.
And yeah, Fulcrus can get the damage, he can get the kills, but if he doesn't connect...
Oh, but he's going to get caught out by the Grill. They're going to get around. Fulcrus has to survive, but the Grill, Durgil picks up the kill, and that's going to be Valence able to seal this one up. There was so close there for Valence, they almost had it. It's just down to Spooky. It would take something short of a miracle here to pull this one back.
Well, miracle's probably not going to happen. Not in E3. Miracles were made for heavy tanks.
He gets another shot onto Cap. Aggressor's still reloading. Now, every tank left alive is a one-shot for him.
Yes, but they'll do exactly what they did to Blitz. Fulcrus, and they'll just all peek out at the same time.
Yeah, Fulcrus I don't know why he stopped. He just needed to leave and get out of there when he had the opportunity. If he could regrouped with E3, kept the TVP off him, he might have had a chance at saving that.
Maybe so. He stopped because if his opponent had peeked out at that exact moment, then at that exact moment you can get a shell in, get a kill, and then wait for your opponents to keep coming one by one. But you saw the way that Dare's tanks held up and waited to group up so that he couldn't kill them all at once. When that happened, he realized in an instant, I think, that it was over. And he started to book it, try and get as much distance as he could, but by that time it was already too late. He'd made the decision to stop in anticipation of a kill that his opponent rightfully decided not to peek for. So, strong play, but
Speaking of strong play, though, look at Spooky. 5,000 damage in one kill, 76 fantasy points. Not bad at all. Milo Putin also putting up a sizable amount of fantasy points. But end of the day, looking down at the second page here, not too surprising. Static pushed out into Cap, trying to get into that corner. Got caught out, only to 20 fantasy points. Only one shot of damage. I see what they're going for. Problem is, there's just too many guns on that cross. They timed it well at the TVPs, but between the Burden and the other second TVP, the 50B and the IS-7, it's 1,600 out of the 50B at the bare minimum. One or two shots from this TVP that didn't fire, and then the IS-7 coming in with the 790 Alpha. It's more than 430 could handle.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Strong play. Got to give it to Dare. They just didn't have the response. And, well, I just want to see what we're going to go for on Murrow. Because Murrow is, usually a 1-in-1 map right now.
And it's going to be Valence starting off on defense first. So if they can hold on and maybe get to offense, looking at it, I have a feeling I'm not going to get a whole lot of boost from this. But looking at it, defense for Dare actually only 66% over 6 games. So 4 out of 6.
It's okay.
That's middle of the pack. Has almost a 70% defense rate on the league. And meanwhile, looking at it, Valence on this map, Muravanka, middle of the road. They've lost their one defense and have only attacked it twice with 50%. So that in itself does not give me a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it's looking rough for Valence. Can they hold on as we go into what could be the final map of the series?
Muravanka, a map with a great number of buildings, bushes and trees, amongst which teams hide for most of the battle. The attacking team begins the battle from the top of the village, and the defenders start from the bottom of the map. Both bases are better controlled from the hill near the first base, and from the green in the lower left corner of the map. There are many attack directions. The attacking team often attempts to gain the attention of defenders by putting pressure on the first base, whilst manoeuvring several tanks behind the second base to deliver fire into the defending's flank. Team setups are very diverse, but the players often choose the fastest tanks, even for heavy setups. They could even bring SPGs.
And here we go into battle number 7. Valence, an IS-7, a Kronwagen, 3 bat chats, a TVP, and an AMX 1390. Dare Rising, a 215B, 4 bat chats, and 2 tier 9 bat chats. Aggressor dropping down into one of the tier 9s.
From time to time, he's been known to do stuff like this. Guess it indicates he's going to be allowed to play a little looser.
Get more aggressive, and it is going to be Dare attacking, opting for the 2 tier 9 lineup.
And out of the opener, Dare's going to go west. 2 bats heading to the south. And they're going straight for the cap. So early aggression on the cap is what I see us going for. Spooky's going to get boosted by Fulcrus to the one side cap. And spotting from Valence is only going to see Dershel. Model Putin finally lit. And Toll's going to cost 384. Model Putin's going to pay that in order to get into position. Fulcrus covering Spooky. Spooky moves forward. Static takes a lot of damage. Static, what are you doing? Static, you're on the open, on the wrong side of the hill. Get out of there. That's bad.
Putin taking a lot of damage over in the village.
G-Forcer trying to 1v1. Not working out. Losing out a tiny bit. Spooky taking more damage.
Spooky's going to push in here, make sure they back off, and now they just need to back out.
Urtai taking on a tier higher than himself.
Valence just bleeding HP left and right. Urtai getting caught out in the open. Fulcrus does take down Nationwide. Putin picks up Zone Delta.
Urtai's dead.
Fulcrus taking a lot of the damage. Now Spooky's coming around, puts another shot into Aggressor, as does Fulcrus. But at this point, Valence, I don't see them coming back from
It's
this.
over. Butter's getting cold, Rockstar.
The second they had that bat shot, I don't know why they kept forcing things forward. There was no reason to go for that. They pushed into a crossfire. They had themselves in a great position. They could deal with that cap. They put a lot of pressure on Milo Putin. Didn't see the necessity to push over into that crossfire, give up all that HP, and this just hands the win to Dare. Dare are now going to take the second place spot from the rest of the league. Now, Dare still will have to go against Aquatic M60s and Apex to hold on to that second place seed. But remember, second place gets an automatic bye to the offline regional finals. Eclipse and Top Tier both eyeballing it. But Dare saying, hey, we're not out of this yet. And it's going to be Blitzwolf, the final tank for Valence. And that's going to be Dare walking away with a 5-2 victory. Despite starting off slow 2-0, they came back, won 5 straight. And they took the win.
Yep. And that last battle, I don't even know, Rockstar. What was that?
Just sloppy play out of Valence. I don't really get it. They tried to go for some offhand aggression, change things up, but they were in control. The second that I7 showed on the corner, he didn't have to go all the way around the corner. The bat shots just fled. We're going to get reset. We're not even going to sit here. And at that point, then after that, the tanks pushed down the one line, and the Kronwagen, Urtai got caught out by the bat shot of, I think it was Harmless out in the village.
Yep.
And it was just, at that point, it's kind of like, why, guys? Like, you had them backed off. There was no real point to that, and it just didn't work out, and Dare very comfortable.
Yeah, they chased when they should have stayed. Dare played it well. Every single 1v1 went in their favor, and, well, look at the damage, look at the fantasy points. Dershel in the FV just had a field day.
Yeah, 4,000 damage. The 215B, like I said earlier, has a laser cannon on it, so definitely something to keep an eye on. Now, folks, stay tuned, because we actually will have the top fantasy lineups from today prepared right after this, so it'll be just a minute before we get to that. Looking at the post-match stats, they're going to be coming up next. We will go ahead and see how this match played out. Looking at the damages here, Spooky only 245 for Valence. Burden 414, very strong. Malputin 411, but Aggressor not on the front page for once, so we'll have to see how he did in the series. And he struggled, only 300 fantasy points, 8k damage. Definitely an off night for him.
Yeah, no opportunities, really.
Yep.
It was tough to find the opportunity to get enough damage in a match like this. There's also, by the way, a lot of lower hit point strats.
Definitely, except for the few of the mouses that
here and there, but we didn't see the kind of like super heavy strats that we've seen in the past. What is it, like last week?
Yeah,
we saw a few of those super heavy strats. Definitely
multiple mouses, JPs.
Yeah, hands out a lot of fantasy points for those. Yeah. So a little bit lower scoring day.
Yeah, but also, and the first match today wasn't too particularly wildish outside of Mr. Man putting up some insane numbers.
Yeah.
So nothing too surprising there. And like I said, that's going to be Valence. Having the door shut on their face to claw into 6th place. They needed some points today, not going to get them, which is going to make 07 feel a bit more at ease, because up next, 07 I have it over here somewhere. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's M60s, who have Dare and Valence up. Where did that even go?
Well,
stats is stats.
Yeah, it's like you got papers everywhere, dude. I don't even know. If coming up, they have a few matches,
Mm-hmm.
So moving on from that one, though, Valence.
Now I'm just confused.
Oh goodness, you got notes everywhere. Just leave it. Just leave it. If you lose your notes, you lose your notes.
Either way.
So, it's Dare versus Valence. Valence is
found it.
Of course you found it.
Eclipse and Rival. There we go.
There you go.
It was on top of my head. Couldn't remember it though. But anyways, so that's going to make 07 feel a bit better, because they have Rival up next, which the way Rival have been playing, you have to think that's going to be 3 points to 07, and then Eclipse.
All right. Well, we have an interview, actually, I'm told. Winner's interview with Aggressor, who's going to join us on the broadcast now. Tell us all about that phenomenal win. Aggressor, 5-2. 5-2. Why did they get 2?
Because I suck. I don't know.
Seriously.
They played very bad.
Yeah, what was with that? Ghost Town. I didn't understand. It seemed like you guys should have figured it out.
We're talking about it right now, but I just think we read it pretty wrong and played pretty poorly. I mean, I played very bad this series, probably one of the worst, but
happens. Yeah, what's with that? Anything you can point to?
I don't know. I just went to the positions that were risky and then misplayed a lot and got farmed, and or I got into the position that wasn't very important and then I couldn't really do anything. But
noticed that a few times. Yeah, it seemed like a few times there were a few of you guys that might have been on autopilot.
I wouldn't say autopilot, but definitely. I mean, I was a little bit tilted, not gonna lie, but luckily the team wasn't.
Yeah, I actually want to ask you about that. When you get tilted, because it happens, right? We all do. What do you do to get yourself back centered? Like, what's your process?
I typically don't. It's very hard for me. It's very hard for me to get back in it, but the team usually just yells at me to get back into it, and I'm good. I can reason with them, so I'll just be like, yeah, I guess you guys are right. So and then I'll go right back on to it.
Stop being mad. Okay, just kind of like that. Yeah. I feel you on that one, Rox. Hey.
I don't have a whole lot. Definitely though, the Ghost Town games, the bat chats, you guys pushed really aggressively really early on that second game to where we were almost caught out. What was the logic there? Was it just, hey, they're not here, so let's just see what we can find?
Well, the strat is you're supposed to get a catch from a tank that's in the little courtyard next to the crane, and then I'm supposed to kill the guy in the boost, but the guy in the boost dropped down, and there was no catch because it was an FV, and it would have just killed one of our guys. So it didn't really work out. And then we went back to cap, and then the cap, it should have worked, but I got one-shotted, which wasn't really fun. But
so much for that firepower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, man, like this is the thing about honestly, this is the thing about firepower. If we want to talk real here.
All right, let's talk real.
No matter how good you are, if someone one-shots you, you can't counterplay it. It's just like, all right, you're dead. Like that's what happens, and that's why you bring an FV.
It's fun to be on the firing end, but not so fun to be on the receiving end.
Absolutely. Well, Aggressor, thanks for joining us. Any last words for your fans out there?
My fans out there, if I have any.
Oh, you got fans.
Thanks for watching.
All right, dude. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming on here, Aggressor. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. See you guys.
Peace. He's fun.
Yep, I love talking to Aggressor. He's so down to earth and real with everything.
Yeah, that's the nice part. He's like, you want to talk about firepower? You can't counter getting one shot. I guess that is a fair point. You cannot counter getting one shot.
At least you can